How
Nice
are
to meet
you?
all of you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. It's good to see you again.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, are we saying your name correctly,
Yes, that
Aida?
is Aida. My name is Aida. My pronouns are she and her. And I've been
Perfect.
chatting in your chat. I got Peter's reference about the sushi. Shame on you
Oh,
if
you
no
did.
one else caught it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, fish. Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh, we are
There
so
we go. There we go. Well, Aida, I kind of like to go back to our conversation. It was funny. So you contacted Gen Con
yeah.
about your event, and it was forwarded because since the last time that we made a call out for your program, there's been a lot of changes, and now it's a separate thing. And I sent you an email and said, well, I wasn't there 2 years ago, and you were like, you were saying I wasn't either, and so we both tried to
Oh,
figure out what we should do. So anyway, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad you're here. Let's start with the basics. Why don't you explain for everybody what's the event that's happening this weekend, and tell us all about it.
so Roll for Good is a community primarily of TTRPG nerds from Europe and the UK. And originally it was like, hey, we want to play with our own time zone. We want to play with cultural references we understand. And once there was a bit of a groundswell of that, we're like, we have all this energy, all these happy energies we could spend into something. Let's do something for charity. And that was 2001. And the first charity decided on was Mind for Mental Health. And once upon a time, I recall Bonsai, for example, talking about it. And Jess was like, wow, we got a shout out. That's so amazing. And that very first event was really, really successful. And since then, that was kind of the impetus for keep on going and doing more and more events. This is our third year and our sixth event, I think. And this weekend, so tomorrow, we're going to be playing 6 one shots. We're going to be playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians. We're going to be playing Himbo Treasure Hunt, a one pager by Grant Howitt. Amazing title. We're going to play Morkborg, How to Be a Hero, Things from the Flood, and of course, some good old D&D. And we're all going to be raising funds for ILGA, which is an organization that supports LGBTQIA plus human rights.
So I have a question for you. How do you
Yeah,
end up selecting who's going to be playing in the RPGs or representing?
we have open call outs and we encourage people who represent marginalized communities. So we always encourage if you're queer, neurodivergent, women, femme outside North America, you are more than welcome. Everyone is welcome, but they're going to like get a fast track to the front. And even before that, with our community, especially on Discord, for example, we ask everyone, okay, what theme are we going to support this year? One year it was we're going to do something for Ukraine. One year it was mental health. One year it was trans rights. And then we're like, okay, here's our theme community. We're going to vote. Here are some charities we've vetted in advance. Go. So it's all community initiative.
that is awesome. Speaking of about that, do you have any like I know you're working with a lot of different content creators all around, like
Yeah.
everywhere. Do you know if like there's any like charity incentives that you all kind of agreed on doing? Like, some folks would eat being boozled and stuff like that. Is there anything that you know in the works? Like, because as much as we love charity, we also love seeing people endure things for charity.
We are not personally going to suffer for charity.
Oh,
We have co-opted wonderful and amazing partners who are going to who have opened their generosity. So
mhm.
for giveaway milestones, Hero Forge is giving out 1 year of pro.
Oh.
You can get physical or digital bundles of freely games like Blade Runner, Morkborg, Tales from the Loop. We have modules from queer creators like Awful Creatures for adventures in ADHD. We have all these other kind of prizes. So instead of suffering, we're gonna do that.
Oh, that's much better. That is a much better thing. And so people can look forward to that. And that's like a gift
Yes.
that keeps on giving. Oh my God,
Yes.
those are just sounds like such awesome prizes.
Yeah, and anyone can participate once the milestone has been reached. You don't have to have been a donator to participate.
So this seems like a blast overall. I took a gander at the Twitch channel, and I have to say respect to you for the the Dungeon Master costume. Uh, you're rocking that. I guess my next question is, you know, you've been doing this for some time, and it seems like you've got the minutia of things, like how to organize it and how to get everything set.
I'm glad it looks that way.
It looks like you got everything in order. I've run a few events myself, and I don't know how you even begin. But I guess my next question is, I see that the last one happened on Halloween.
Yeah.
Do you intend to have more of these throughout the year as you go on? It looks like this is gaining steam.
Right now, we have 2 events a year, our May
Mhm.
and our Halloween one. We are an entirely volunteer force. We're doing this for hobby, for love, and because we're masochists. So once we can find some more well-intentioned, good being masochistic people, we'd love to keep having more events throughout the year.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
No.
Aida, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about your background and how you brought that to the organization.
Sure. I'm a Latina woman. My family is from Bolivia in South America. I'm originally born in New York City, and I'm an expat. I'm an immigrant here in Europe, especially in a country where I don't see a lot of people that look like myself. And here was where I started to get into TTRPGs. D&D was my first game. I'm the note taker. I had the spreadsheets for the bag of holding. I recorded. I made the anvil. I was that person. But at the table, I was usually the only woman, the only femme. I was the only POC for miles, or here, kilometers around. And eventually, as I started to get more and more into the community and found Roll for Good, I was like, it's great to have the accessibility to play TTRPGs in a way that I don't have to be up 2 in the morning to be with all the amazing creators that I know and love and familiar with, especially racially diverse ones. And as I got to know the Roll for Good community more and more, I made myself that busybody. I brought my spreadsheet making skills, my cat herding skills, and they elevated me to team member. And I'm a team leader. I'm one of the main organizers. I'm one of the front-facing people at the Roll for Good as well. And with that, we said we need to have more diversity on our streams. When someone thinks Europe, when someone thinks UK, there might be misconceptions about who is there at the table. And I'm here to say, no, we have a plethora of diverse, queer, POC creatives that need to be front and center. Hi, I'm here. I belong here. And in the last few years, I'm really happy to say that we have more and more of that diversity at the Roll for Good events, tables, and content as well. So that is one particular thing that I am really pushing for. We don't have to import diversity, the dirty word wokeness from North America. It's here. It's here, and we're going to celebrate it.
I bet it was really fun for you to look for like partners or other community members to collaborate with, wasn't it?
Oh, amazing. I definitely was curating like who are the really awesome BIMPAC creatives in EU, UK, so we can say like, what is your perspective? One of the favorite ones I did, I'll let you know right now, I interviewed Jasper Cartwright from Three Black Halflings. They're a podcast here. They've interviewed Matt Mercer, Brandon Lee Mulligan. Brandon Lee Mulligan wore a Three Black Halflings pin at the finale of the Calamity show.
Oh, wow.
Like it's this kind of connection they have. And it was like, tell me what it's like to be a creator here, to be at that forefront. Interview with him. We have an interview with the Free League Publishing CEO, who is also the creator of Blade Runner RPG. He's going to be joining us as well. And we have a lot of other connections with local creators as well. I'm from the Netherlands. We have a lot of Dutch creators, Germans, Belgian, UK, but they're almost all femme, women, queer, neurodivergent.
So I have a question for you. You said you started with D&D.
Yeah.
But what are your favorite? What's your favorite or favorites now?
TTRPG wise.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love me some Alien RPG.
Alien, nice.
I love that sort of
Yes!
Yes!
cinematic backstabbing. My last character lived. I
We-
do run on occasion a lot of more frequently Monster of the Week type games powered by the Apocalypse games. I definitely run. I just finished up a long-term Starfinder campaign. I was a Skittermander, which is like an Ewok with 6 arms. The creator called Skittermanders Communist Care Bears. And I was like, I need to be one of these.
Oh.
Think of a space halfling. So
I
I'm
mean,
branching out, and with Roll for Good, I'm also getting acquainted with a lot of games. Like Thirsty Sword Lesbians has been on my shortlist to play for so long, and now that I get to see it as a producer, because I'll be producing that game, I'll be marketing. I'm like, okay, here are my notes. I'm ready. I'm gonna run this after this event once I, have slept for a week.
yeah, no.
Oh
it
yes,
just-
the producer slumber.
Indeed, indeed. No, it just sounds like you if you're producing it, is there because you are producing, is there a particular stream or event that you are very excited for that you just want to be like, oh, I'm gonna tune in, name your favorite child, please.
I cannot. Unless we can edit this out. This will totally be edited, right?
Of
We're
course.
not actually airing right now. This is just a warm
Oh,
up.
Yeah,
oh,
no, yeah,
nice.
totally warm
Good
up.
to know. Phew. Let me get my beer. Let me let the expletives fly. I'm really excited personally, not just for all the games equally, I have to say, but one system I've been really curious about beyond Thirsty Sword Lesbians is Morkborg, because it's already been described to me that the players are going to come in with multiple player sheets. We're going to have deaths live. They're going to be going through it.
Perfect.
Yeah, that sounds like more work. I actually had a question. There are some systems that have a much bigger fan base in Europe than they do over here in the States, like Torg and Fading Suns.
Yeah.
Has that been? I'm guessing my question is: have you been tempted to do any kind of shows featuring those systems, and has the appeal of the North American audience played a factor into whether you have or haven't?
Yes and yes. I think in the earlier events where D&D was much more the focus before the dramas, the troubles, it was like we have to have a lot of D&D focused games because that's also the most accessible thing, I think, North America and EU wise. But in Europe and the UK, there are a lot of big publishers like Free League, who does the Vaesen game. They also do Alien. They do Morkborg as well, Tales. And there are primarily, Swedish companies. So they're very prominent here as well. And a lot of our GMs organically are saying, I want to run those games. And Free League is amazing in saying, you want copies, you get copies. You want giveaways, you get giveaway things. It's been really amazing of them. And a lot of local creators as well who create stories that have European lore in them. Last year, one of our games was a fairy corgi steeplechase, which is very much based in European lore about the fairies riding corgis, and there were fairies riding corgis.
Aida,
I
I have just a quick question for you.
Yeah.
I would love to get more involved with this. I'm sure plenty of people in our audience would as well. How can we do that?
Well, we're talking about it, and I'm so grateful for the platform to be able to share this information. That is already the biggest step, and I am eternally grateful on behalf of all the Roll for Good team and everyone who is supporting it. Secondly, come by tomorrow at twitch.tv/rollforgood. We're going to be streaming for 2 days. I think I have some time zone conversions for y'all because officially it's going to be 11 a.m. British Standard Time, summertime to 10 p.m. BST, which translates to 3 a.m. Pacific to 2 p.m. Pacific, or 6 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. 2 days. So if you're waking up for brunch, early lunch, second breakfast, all your breakfast, whatever you happen to eat, definitely tune in, chill out, engage, chat, because the more people we have in there, the more traction we get, and the more likely we're going to attract donations. And we have our donations. Our links to our Tiltify is in our socials, in our Twitter. They're going to be spammed to High Heaven and Earth on Twitch. And that's a really good way to get involved. And if you want to be involved, like be a player, be a GM, you want to, if you're feeling masochistic and you want to Marcus with me, you want to draw, you want to type up copy for socials, hit me up. Everyone is welcome. You don't have to be exclusively from the EU, UK, but we have this community to say like the TTRPG community, what it looks like goes beyond the main 4 time zones. And I've played with people in the US who said like, wow, it means so much to me that I'm in a game with a Dutch person, a German person, with someone in Malaysia. And I'm like, that's our standard. And that's amazing. Let's have that be more the normal.
Well, that's great, Aida. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I don't think I'll
having
be
me.
there at 3 a.m., but
No, you
maybe
won't.
by 5 or 6, depending on how the night goes. Okay, so just as a recap, Roll for Good is a UK EU community of nerds who organize TTRPG strings to raise money for charities and causes close to their hearts. On May 27 and 28, that is tomorrow and the next day, they will be hosting 2 days of TTRPG one-shots, interviews, solo plays, discussions, and giveaways in support of ILGA, which is a worldwide federation of organizations that work toward a world where global justice and equity are assured and established regardless of people's sexual orientations, gender identities, or gender